Hello there, everybody. Welcome. This is Sarah Nicole Nadler. Come on in. If you're watching live, let me know what kind of business you have and where you're calling in from, because I always love to share my examples and make them tailored to you as much as I possibly can. So Christmas is over. It's time to tear down all the decorations, which makes me so sad. But I thought this week would be the perfect opportunity to show you guys what we should be doing in this last week of the year. Christmas is over. New Year isn't quite here yet. We've got just like 4 days left, really, of production this year. And what do we do in those 4 days to really maximize our profits in 2024? So if you're here on live with me, let me know where you're calling in from. Let me know what type of business you have, and let's get right into our training for today. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Sarah Nicole Nadler. I'm a money coach for business women, and I built my first business when I was just 19 years old. It was a residential cleaning company. At the time, my sister had cancer. My boyfriend had just cheated on me. My parents were divorcing. I was a hot mess, and I had no idea what I was doing. But I stumbled across a method of keeping track of the right numbers in my business and allowing those numbers to guide me in the direction I wanted to go. And because of that, I was able to very quickly scale my business and actually sell it at a time when I needed nothing as much as I needed a break. So I was able to go travel through Mexico, do a bunch of volunteer work, actually join my church and do years of volunteer work off of the sale of that business, because I had this massive savings from having sold my very first business. So today I want to talk to you about that little system that I stumbled across, really, more than anything else, and how you can use it to actually maximize your profits in 2024, because I'm still using that same methodology in my business today. And this New Year profit plan that I put together has become one of the biggest successful actions for my 6 and 7 figure business owners. So if you're watching live right now, let me know, how big is your business right now? Are you hitting steady 5 figures, 6, 7? Do we have some 8-figure entrepreneurs on the call today? If so, I definitely want to talk to you. If your business still isn't profitable, we should definitely discuss that. But I call this strategy the Plan Her Profits method. It includes a paper planner, an online course. I have coaching that goes along that teaches you this strategy, as well as these profit planning checklists. And the profit planning checklists are, I would say, one of the most important parts of this strategy, because they keep you nose the grindstone when you need it to be, so that you don't have to freak out the rest of the month. So if we do this profit planning checklist every single month, the rest of the month, you know with certainty exactly what you should be working on. So I recommend you jump on over really fast, fiercefemininefinance.com/New Year's NY profit plan, and download the checklist that goes with this training so you can get the most out of today's training. All right. So without further ado, as a money coach for businesswomen, my ultimate goal, of course, is to help you learn how to invest, right? So my clients can achieve financial freedom. That means you're no longer having to work in your business unless you want to. You're no longer having to work at all. Trade any time for money unless you want to. And I have a 6-step strategy that I use with my paying clients to get them from completely trading time for money to never having to work again unless they want to, right? That is financial freedom. But you'll notice right here, step 1 of the financial freedom method, or the passive income pathway method, is cash flow. We need a cash flowing asset, whether it's a job, or for my clients, it's always a business of some kind. If you can't get your existing business to cash flow, you're not going to be able to create an emergency plan or pay off your debt or put proper protection in place, like opening the right legal entities and opening the right insurance policies. You're not going to be able to invest because you won't have any money, right? All of these different steps to financial freedom rely upon your ability to make your business cash flow. So that's what we're going to talk about today, how we can spend our time in the next 4 days before the end of the year, essentially, right? Obviously, I don't count the weekend. Hopefully, you're not having to work on the weekend. But how can we really set up our business in the next couple of days to be extremely profitable and have lots of cash flow in 2024 so you can make headway towards financial freedom. All right, so that's what ultimately today's training is all about. Now, the Plan Her Profits method that I'm about to teach you is based off of the Pareto principle. So I'm not the inventor of the Pareto principle, okay? This is just something I learned, which I was like, oh, wow, I can see totally how that applies to profitability in a business. The Pareto principle is also known as the 80-20 rule. You may have heard that. The 80-20 rule simply teaches us that roughly 80% of our results in our business are coming from only 20% of our efforts. Now, the goal of the Plan Her Profits method is to make it so that that's no longer true. We're going to cut out the 80% of dead work, the kind of work that you're doing that's just busy work, right? And streamline what you're doing in your business by using hard data so we always know exactly what's getting the results. Just as an example, you guys, this past month, I did my Plan Her Profits method on my own business. And for 120 days in a row, I had been making TikToks consistently. I wanted to start a TikTok channel. I was consistently TikToking every single day for 120 days in a row. I made at least one TikTok, some days two, some days more. And after 90 days, I followed the Plan Her Profits method and analyzed my statistics, right? And found that I had made $0 on TikTok. So I fired the coach who was teaching me TikTok strategies and hired a different one, right? I went, hey, let's try this again, but I'm going to try it with someone who maybe knows more about what's going on. I interviewed people, found a different coach, and for another 30 days, right? After the 90, I did another 30 days. So I hit a whole 120 days of creating TikToks. I had lots of followers and 0 sales in my business. So as you can see, I was spending lots of time recording content, editing videos, posting them up, reposting them on Facebook. And you know what's ironic is that all of that effort, the only place that those videos made me money was on my Facebook page. Statistically speaking, 83% of my clients have always come from Facebook. So I ditched TikTok. This is not a story against TikTok, right? Lots of people make a lot of money on TikTok, but for whatever reason, I was not being successful with this strategy. So I dropped it. Just using the 80-20 rule, just having my numbers and looking at them and actually knowing how to analyze them properly using the Plan Her Profits method, I was able to identify what wasn't working and what is working. And I doubled down on Facebook. And guess what? My income doubled in December, despite the fact that I took a week off for Christmas, right? So this is why I want to teach you guys this strategy, because it's going to make it possible for you to work less and make more. So in other words, if you look at all the tasks that you do every single day in your business, most of the time, and I have found this to be true after I learned the Pareto principle, going into people's businesses when they ask me to do a profit analysis, I have found this to be very true. 80% of the work you're doing is not what's driving profits. It's the other 20%. And if we just cut out the 80 and started focusing heavily on the 20, you would make more and work less, right? So I'm going to teach you how we do this. Now, I've already done a lot of other trainings where I went through the 4-step method of the Plan Her Profits strategy. So I'm not going to go too deeply into this. If you want the replay to the Plan Her Profits other trainings that I've done, feel free to comment below replay. Actually, don't comment replay, because then I'll think you're asking for the replay of this. Hold on. Let's think about this for a second. Comment 4 steps below. 4 steps if you want me to send you the replay of earlier trainings I've done on the 4-step method of the Plan Her Profit method. I'm not going to teach it right now, but I am putting it up on the screen. Feel free to take a quick screenshot. Cha-ching. Okay, good. We're going to assume that you're done with that and move on. Okay. So in my experience, having been a business consultant now for 5 years, okay, the biggest mistakes I see people make that are stopping them from being able to move past profitability and get on to emergency funds and paying off debt and all the other things we want to do to become financially free. The 3 biggest mistakes I see people making that are not allowing them to move on because they can't make the business profitable are: 1, mishandling employees. That means you get sued by the employee quits, you have to train another employee, or you hire the wrong employee, right? Like there can be lots of examples of that. Number two, trying to do everything yourself. I talk about this in my upcoming book, From Hustler to Investor, right? If you're thinking like a hustler and every time you see a task, your first thought is, I better put that on my own plate, then you're never going to become financially free because you're not thinking like an investor, right? So trying to do everything yourself is a big mistake I see people make. It keeps you small, it keeps your business small. But number three, I would say, is guesstimating. Making decisions based off of guesswork or trying to meditate your way to success in business without ever actually looking at your hard data, okay? Trying to base things off of your intuition, your perception, whatever you want to call it, and never looking at the hard data. It's okay to use in intuition. I can't think of the word. It's okay to use prayer and intuition and postulates and all those things as long as you also use hard data in your business. Okay. So today I'm going to talk about how to do that, how to avoid this big mistake. Okay. If you're currently navigating your business based off of guesswork, I want you to put a 1 in the chat for me. Say, yeah, 1, I am definitely guessing. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know how to fix my unprofitable business. Or my business is profitable. It's doing pretty well, but I don't really know how to go to the next level. I have no idea which direction to go. If that's you right now, I want you to put a 1 in the chat for me. So when I say guessing, most people honestly aren't fully aware of what I mean when I say guessing. So I'm going to give you guys some examples. I had one client who, like I said, she was wishing and hoping and dreaming and postulating and deciding all the time that she was going to have a successful business, but she wasn't tracking any numbers. And so if you asked her like, oh, looks like your sales are down, do you know why that is? She was always like, I don't know. Right. And if you are constantly wondering why things are happening in your business, that's what I mean when I say you're guessing. You're not tracking. Okay. You're not tracking the right things or you're not tracking anything. And so you're like the girl on the screen. You're kind of like, I don't know. Right. The other thing I see a lot of is guesstimating our make break point. I was shocked when I first became a business coach at how many business owners cannot tell me how much money they need to make in order to pay their basic bills, right? They don't actually have a baseline of profitability in their business. They don't know what that number is. Like, what's my make break? Meaning exactly how many dollars and cents do I need to make just to pay the basic bills, and everything above that will be profit, right? If you don't know that number, well, it's kind of like trying to, climb Mount Everest without knowing what country it's in. You're like, well, I have no idea if I'm walking east, west, south, north. Like, I don't even know what direction to go, right? That's kind of what it's like when we're guesstimating our make break, okay? Another one is people who monitor their growth by how busy they are or how burnt out you feel instead of by actually measuring how much revenue you have coming in. Okay. Now, I know there's an argument out there about like, should I track revenue or profits? The answer is you should track both, right? But I'm going to give you some really easy ways to do this that are not going to be overwhelming compared to how you probably have been taught this in the past. So let's get started. So first thing I want to do is give you an idea of how I think of numbers, because I really think that these are like crystal balls for your business, okay? Numbers will tell a very important story if you let them. If you let them. So imagine you have this crystal ball in front of you, and anytime you want to know what direction you should go in your business, all you have to do is just wave your hands like woo, 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 and it like pops up a name like one of those magic 8 balls you used to shake back in the 80s, right? And you could just like shake it and it would instantly tell you, yes, you should purchase that new piece of equipment. Yes, you should hire that employee. Like, if it were that simple, wouldn't that be nice? Give me a 2 in the chat if you're like, yeah, I would really like it if I just could like shake a magic ball and it would tell me exactly what I should do in my business. Give me a 2 if that's you. I know I like that idea, right? So having a statistics dashboard, which is what I'm going to show you in just a minute, is a little bit like having a lamp in the darkness of your business. Okay. So imagine that the very moment you decided you wanted to become a whatever type of business you have, right? I don't see any comments, so I can't tell you what kind of business you have, but imagine for a minute the moment you decided you wanted to start your business, you were opening a door into a completely dark hallway. Okay. And there's dozens of doors on every side of this hallway. And as you walk, you're kind of like feeling your way through the darkness, and you can feel that there are doors on either side, but you can't see the numbers, you can't see the labels, you have no idea which door leads to success. Okay, but you're just kind of like wandering down these dark hallways, and every once in a while you kind of get this like intuition-y feeling, and you're like, oh, I think I'll open this door, and hopefully there isn't like a demon behind it. Right? Like that's how most people walk through business every day of their life, right? Hold on, we got some comments here, so I want to say hi to everybody. Yes, hello. Hi, Stephen. Hi, Rhonda. It's good to see you. Hello. Yes. Okay. Making sure everybody can get in. All right. So imagine you're just like wandering down this dark hallway. That's how most people feel when they're new in business. They don't really know what direction to go. And one of the doors leads to bankruptcy. Another door has like, I don't know, the IRS coming after you. Right? Like another door has an irate client who wants a refund. Another door has a successful 8-figure lifestyle, right? But you don't know which door is which. So a statistics dashboard. Okay, let me get this on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. A statistics dashboard is like a lantern in the darkness. Okay, it shows you which door to open at any given moment. So, to give you an example of this and how it works, let's imagine for a moment that you're using sales calls to make your income. So here's your income, okay? And it's just been crashing throughout 2023. Let's just say as an example, right? And you're like, wow, I don't know. I have no idea why this is happening, okay? If you had a statistic dashboard, just like the one I'm showing you right now, here's how easy it would be to figure out why the income's going down and to fix it like that, okay? So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take this, which we call a key statistic, a key metric, a KPI, key performance indicator, as it's called in business, right? We're going to take that key number and we're going to break it down into the bite-sized things that have to happen for it to occur. So if your business takes sales calls, what are the things that have to happen for you to make income? Well, people have to book a call, right? Someone's got to call you or they have to book an appointment. So number of booked appointments would be one sub statistic. Sub means under, right? Like subterranean, under the ground. Sub statistics are the ones that are underneath. They add up to your main statistic. So a booked appointment will be a sub statistic to income, right? Also, number of people who kept their appointments, because we all know that people book appointments and then they no show. So number of people who kept their appointments. Then you'd have, of course, sales, right? How many of those calls did you actually close, right? You got to keep track of your closing ratio or the number of sales you got. And then how many of those sales were from new clients and how many of them were from returning clients. Now, if we're looking at this dashboard and my income is going down and these other things are all the things that add up to income, who can tell me why the income is going down? We got a few people on live here, so I want you to comment below if you can tell me, why is income going down? Take a moment to study the screen. I can blow it up if you want. Let's make it bigger. Why is the income going down in this business? What is making that occur? Are they not booking enough appointments? Are they not keeping the appointments? They got lots of no-shows. Is that why the income's going down? Well, if you guessed accurately, it's the returning clients, right? That is the parallel graph here. And so as an executive, as an executive who's thinking like an investor, not a hustler, right? If I were thinking like a hustler, I would look at this and be like, oh, the clients don't want to come back. Okay, I better chase more clients and ask them why they don't want to come, right? No, but I don't want to be a hustler. I want to be an investor. I want to think like an investor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to issue an order to the junior who's responsible for this area of my business, right? If you're a solopreneur, sure, you're going to do the work yourself. Hopefully that will not be you for very long if you continue to learn and use this strategy, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this area and figure out why this is happening. And usually that's going to be asking these people, right? Go to my old past clients and say, hey, I'm curious. I noticed that you canceled your membership. I noticed that you came once for a yoga class and never came back, right? Steve, I noticed that you used my services, my electrical services one time and ended up going with my competitor afterwards, right? Like find out why they're not coming back. And if you just found out that one thing, that would revert this because it's the only reason why income's going down, right? So what ends up happening in most businesses though, is you don't have all of this. You don't have this bigger picture. You just have this. You only know the income's going down. So you book more and more appointments and more appointments and more appointments. And you put attention on new clients and you change your advertising strategy, or you decide that there aren't there's too many no-shows, and so you start to charge for your appointments to try to like make them stick, right, or something. And since you're changing the wrong thing, this hidden reason continues to fail your business, and you change something that was working, and now that stops working too, and the income goes down even harder. Okay, I see this happen again and again and again in business. It's finding the wrong reason for something. And the only way you're going to find the right reason is if you have the hard data to make those decisions, to make those conclusions. Okay, so of course, the number one answer or the number one question people ask me when I start to teach the strategy is, all right, great, I'll start tracking my numbers, but what numbers should I track? And this is where, like I said, in this final week of the year, this is the perfect time to be asking yourself that question, okay? And here's how we find the answer. Before you can use a statistics dashboard effectively in your business, you have to be super clear on who you help and how you help them. So let's get some examples here. In my business, it's pretty simple. I am a money coach. I help business owners. How do I help them? With profitability, investing, and becoming financially free. That could be everything from paying off debt, building emergency funds, what to invest in, how to invest, right? All these different strategies and profitability in the business and everything that adds up to it, right? So since I'm clear on who I help and how I help them, it's easy for me to identify the transformation that I should be causing, or that the areas of my business should be causing. In his book, Measure What Matters, American investor and venture capitalist John Doerr says, numbers benchmark and monitor how we get to the objective. Effective objectives are specific and time-bound, aggressive yet realistic. Most of all, they are measurable and verifiable. So the best numbers that you can be tracking in your business are tied to your current goals in your business. So if your current goal is to increase your revenue, well, revenue should be the key number that you're tracking. If your current goal is to improve your quality of service to your customers, then you need to find a measurable, verifiable way to identify whether or not you're getting closer to that goal, right? Could be a percentage statistic of your number of 5-star reviews you got. You could be doing feedback surveys. And again, right, asking them to scale you on 1 to 10. Like, it's so easy to find a statistic that will measure that thing. But first, we have to start with the goal. And that's, again, why I said that this time of year is the perfect time to be asking yourself these questions. What do I want in 2024? Right? That's a question we all ask ourselves around New Year's. We're setting New Year's resolutions and we're identifying what our goals will be for the next year. So as you're identifying those goals this year, I want you to make one big change in your business. If you haven't already been using a statistics dashboard like this, the one big change I want you to make is I want you to identify a number on a graph that you could use to measure your success towards that goal. So take a look at the goals you have for 2024, right? Let's get our profit planner out. If you're a client, you've got a copy of this. If you're not a client, you can find these on Amazon. They're 15 bucks, okay? It's not hard to grab. And I want you to go to your annual planner, right? Your goal setting, where it talks about your physical goals, your financial goals, friendship goals, spiritual goals, romantic goals, creative goals, right? Look over your goals that you set for 2024. If you haven't done this exercise yet, that's okay, because this Saturday I'm going to be doing it with a bunch of you, right? But make a note to do this. Once you've set your goals for 2024, identify what number would help you measure your progress in the direction of that goal. Physical goal, I want to be down to 115 pounds. Good, that's simple. Track your weight, right? Financial goals, I want to hit consistent 30K months. Good, that's simple. Track your revenue. And if you're tracking revenue, track the sub statistics underneath it. Your Facebook analytics, how many emails you're sending out, how many phone calls you made. Tracking those things will help you identify what's working, what's not. Maybe you made 500 phone calls and one social media post. The social media post made you $1,000. The phone calls made you $5. All right, stop making phone calls and go make 500 posts instead, right? Like, knowing those numbers will help you identify what's working, what's not, and you can work less and make more. So that's our first step, is we've got to actually create a goal and then identify how we're going to track that goal. Okay. So, Amy, I see you. Here's what's happening. I could have sent you the December 2023 planner, but I chose to send you instead the January through March 2024 planner. And because I made that decision, there's been a delay because it wasn't printed yet. So since it's finally been printed, I have a confirmation date for you and everybody else who bought one in December. Your planner will be there no later than January 7th. I apologize sincerely for the delay. I know it's been way too long, but just know that I did it with your best interests at heart. I didn't want you to get the December planner, because then you would have had it for like 15 days and be like, well, great, now I have to buy the next one, right? So I'm so sorry about that, but it was really done from a place of love. If you want a free planner because there's been such a delay, I'm happy to do that for you, okay? Thank you for listening. Okay, guys, for everybody else, if you want a copy of the planner, comment the word planner below and I will make sure that we mail one out to you. They're 15 bucks, okay? Not hard to grab. You can find them on Amazon or on my website. Okay, so we've identified where our goal is for 2024 in our business, right? Now we've identified what number we could use to track that. One thing I want to point out about our numbers and our goals, actually, when you're writing down the transformation you cause for your clients, like Amy, I'm going to use you as an example since you're on live with us, right? Like, you take someone from pain to pain-free, right? Remember, there's 3 things we're looking for when we're tracking a transformation, statistically speaking, when we're figuring out what number we're going to use to track or identify something. Sometimes we need more than one number to track the same thing because we wanted to have all 3 of these things. One, it needs to be completed. So if someone came to you with back pain and they still have some back pain, we need to have a way to quantify that. Like, this person's treatment plan is not completed yet because they're not out of pain, right? Or maybe we brought their pain down to 2 and that's as far as it's ever going to go. How do we quantify that, right? So working with your coach, this is why the group coaching calls are so important. This is why I allow one-on-one coaching calls at a discount for paid members, right? The reason why the coaching is so important is because we can identify how to track that, okay? How do we make sure we identify when the thing is completed, when we've actually caused a transformation, and when we're not quite there yet, and how do we quantify that? Number 2, it needs to be high quality. So I can cause someone to, Amy could cause someone to go from pain 10 to pain 0, but if she did it in a grumpy, rude, kind of rough way, right? Customer service is suffering and lacking here. And so we're probably not going to have that patient come back to us, right? In my business, same thing, like completed. Good. The person's either out of debt or they're not, right? They either have 3 months worth of expenses in a savings account or they don't have an emergency fund, right? It's very quantifiable. You're either profitable or you're not, right? Like mine's fairly easy to identify when we're completed, right? I need to get a result. And it also has to be high quality. If I don't show up for coaching calls, if I'm always late, right? If I promise you things and they don't deliver, right? All of those things, I need to have a way of measuring that in my business so that I can self-assess and be self-aware of the results I'm getting. Because the results I'm getting in the different areas of my business, results I'm getting in marketing, right? Am I causing want or am I not? Right? If I got no reaches, no interest, nobody raising their hand saying they're interested, I'm not getting that result, right? Or if I'm getting lots of people raising their hands, but none of them are financially qualified to work with me, that's a quality issue in marketing, right? So in every department, every division of the organization, we can identify when do we know we're completed? When do we know we've gotten a result, right? And is it high quality enough to actually matter, right? And the last thing is, was it a needed change? If the client or the customer or the raw materials are in the same or worse state as when we started, it isn't a transformation. This is something that a lot of coaches miss out on. And I'm going to call us out as coaches, okay? If your coaching program is, quote, profitable, you're selling your coaching program, or you're selling your course, but at the end of the course, or at the end of the coaching program, sure, people have finished the course, that's completed, right? And maybe the quality, like the video quality was high, but if there isn't an actual transformation occurring, you need to quantify that. You need to be able to identify, am I getting results from my clients or am I not, right? So these are important numbers. And if we can't track those numbers, we don't know why people aren't coming back. We don't know why we aren't attracting people in the first place, right? We don't know why we're not profitable. And the only reason you don't know why is because you don't know what numbers to track or you aren't tracking them. And you need to just stop being lazy and actually track them, okay? Now, if you have a team, make your team track it, right? Like, don't do this yourself, okay? And I'm also going to give you an opportunity to outsource this at the end of today's call, right? I'm going to show you how my team will track it for you. But at the end of the day, you as a business owner are still fully responsible for the profitability of that business. So making sure someone's tracking it is important for your profits in 2024. So now I want to give you guys some examples, real live examples of sub-statistics, because I know that this can be a tough one to figure out. Like, how do I identify? Okay, I know my goal is revenue. My goal is, 8 figures this year or whatever. I know what number I need to track for that. I need to track revenue, right? But what are some of the other smaller underlying numbers that need to be tracked? So let's take, for a perfect example, a standard social media funnel, okay? If you're using social media to attract clients, no matter what your business industry, a funnel is what you need in order to accomplish that successfully, okay? So in this example, I'm using what's called a lead magnet funnel. A lead magnet is simply a free downloadable resource of some kind that we're giving away for free to attract someone to your email list and using email marketing or the next step in the funnel to sell them your offer. Okay, that's all a lead magnet is. It's a magnet. It attracts the right type of people into your business and converts them, gets them to actually close, right? So to be effective, this lead magnet funnel, this social media funnel, we need to track every single number that goes on in this, right? So the first step would be our audience. How many people did our post or ad, whatever we're using, how many people did it reach? Well, guess what? If you have a professional profile on social media or if you have a Facebook page, right? That's easy. They're going to tell you exactly what your reach was every single month. Okay. So that's an easy number to track, but we don't want to just look at it. We want to take that number and plug it into our dashboard, just like you saw. So we can see all the numbers graphed That's how we identify what's working, what's not. If you just look at the number, that's not helpful, right? So we need to graph that. What's our reach? How many people did we reach? Then we need to look at our posts and identify which ones got the most clicks. That's what we need. Clicks is the number we want to track on social media, because clicks will tell us that they actually went over and did something. That's the conversion number for us, right? So whether it's an organic post, just like a bunch of TikToks and posts and, hey, how's it going, everyone type of post, and every other type of post you made all month long, or if it's a paid ad, it doesn't matter whether it's a regular post or a paid ad. Clicks are the number we want to track, okay? Once we know how many clicks we got, now we want to look at the landing page. Now remember, I said we're going to give something away for free. That's this little gift right here. For me, today, the gift I'm giving away for free is my New Year profit plan, right? It's an entire checklist. I think it's like 30 pages long of exactly what you should do to prep yourself, prep your business, and prep your team. Mindset, strategy, profit planning, all of it. It's a complete framework for setting up your business successfully in 2024, right? That is the thing I'm giving away for free. Well, guess what? I'm going to track how many people, I can't see who, right? But how many people land on that page and look at my gift, right? They look at it. And then I'm going to track how many people actually put in their email list and download it. Okay. And that right there is going to tell me something. Was this the right gift to give away? Am I making it easy and clear to understand what the gift will do for you, right? All of those things will help me identify why people might look at the gift and not download it, right? Once they've downloaded it, I'm going to use email marketing and also the thank you page to sell those people the idea of working with me, right? And again, right here, what I'm looking for on the thank you page is people who bought the offer. Same thing with the emails. How many people opened my emails? How many of them clicked on the offer? And again, how many people bought the offer? If I'm not tracking all those numbers, let's recap, right? Reach, that's the number. Clicks, landing page views, opt-ins, opened emails, clicks in the email, and then purchases on the thank you page. If I'm not tracking all those numbers, I will have no idea why this funnel isn't working, right? And I might throw the whole funnel away and like the entire baby out with the bathwater and decide that funnels don't work and run away and try to do something weird and unusual that's also not going to work. Instead of just knowing that, oh, hey, the posts I'm making aren't driving enough traffic to my landing page. Right? Like, instead of throwing out the entire bathwater and baby all at once and saying social media marketing doesn't work and like running away like a little curmudgeon, okay, we're just going to identify that the posts I'm making aren't driving traffic to my landing page. Right? That's simple. Good. I can fix that. I'm going to make totally different posts and see which one works best. Right? Or I look at this and I go, wow, I drove lots of traffic to this landing page and one person opted in, right? If you're getting like 1% opt-ins, your landing page is probably really not optimized. But guess what? We can handle that, right? You send it over to me. If you're a paying member, which only costs $24 a month, I will look at your landing page and I will probably be able to tell within a few seconds exactly why it's not optimized or exactly why it's not converting, right? Get expert eyeballs on that landing page and change it, tweak. And we're going to use software like Mouseflow so we can identify where people are looking and when they stop looking and when they bounce. And there's so many tools we can use to fix and tweak that one little tiny problem, which is costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost sales, right? Rather than throwing away the whole baby in bathwater. Okay. So I hope that this is kind of giving you some ideas of how simple and easy it might be to really start becoming very profitable in 2024. Okay. One thing I want to say is if you're looking at all this, you're going, wow, that's a lot of effort. I want you to think for a second about how much effort you're putting in right now and how much money you might be wasting asking people's advice and trying to just guess your way to success. Okay. Here's another quote from my upcoming book, From Hustler to Investor, right? It says, the less cash flow there is in a business, the more vital time management becomes. Time is your only asset, so spend it wisely by setting goals, strategic plans, analyzing data, and prioritizing your to-do list. So again, if we can analyze data successfully, right? Maybe take like 15, 20 minutes a month to do this analysis step. We can actually make your time stretch very, very far and spend a lot less time wondering what the heck is going on in the business. Okay. So I promised you guys at the end I would have a way for you to work with me. So our two ways that I help my clients when they are stuck at that first step of just trying to get the business to cash flow enough to pay off debt, to create an emergency fund, to start investing, right? If this sounds awesome to you and you want to know how you can work with me, here's your two ways. Number one, if you are a successful business that's making plenty, but you really want someone else to put their eyeballs on, and you want someone else to create a dashboard for your business that you can use to do this quick analysis every week, every month, we do now offer financial grip system of bookkeeping. So what that looks like is we're going to actually take over your bookkeeping. We're going to get view access into your QuickBooks or whatever software you're using for your bookkeeping. And we're also going to get access to your CRM or your practice management software so we can track your numbers for you, put them up on a big dashboard, analyze them for you every month, and send you a report every single month of, hey, looks like this is dipping, and here's what we're seeing, and here's why we think it's happening. And then we're going to do one-on-one coaching call with you every single month to help you figure out your budget, how you should be looking at your profits, and what actions you can be taking in the next month to really drive forward those profits. This is, just so you guys know, the exact system that I used when I was running my one-on-one coaching program, which I no longer even offer. But that program is what took 5 of my clients from 6 figures to 7 figures in a single year. They went from making low 6 figures, like $100,000, $200,000 a year, to hitting their first $1 million in revenue in a single year, just because of the strategies that I'm going to show you inside of this bookkeeping offer. Okay, so not only we're going to show you the strategy, we're going to do it for you. Okay, that program starts at $750 a month. Now, if you're baby new entrepreneur, or you've really been struggling in business for a while and you're not quite ready to outsource this, you don't have the funding for it, or you really just kind of want to learn it yourself, I do have a very low cost membership program. It's $24 a month where you can learn the Plan Her Profits method and actually do this for yourself. And it gives you access to the software that I use with my bookkeeping team to track those numbers. So if you want access to the software for free and one of my planners, which will be mailed to you just like Amy, right? And you also want coaching with me in a group setting every single week, join Plan Her Profits. You can find it at fiercefemininefinance.com/plan-her-profits. All right. Thank you so much, you guys, for coming today. Let me know if you have any questions about today's training. I always try my best to help you guys. And happy holidays, and I will see you in the new year.